So now that you have the brow shaped, what then happens?
Well, we have the shape and the arch in there now, and with everybody,
all right, you ready? You ready? You ready?
the eye gives a contouring look from the concealer, the shadow, or highlighter, whichever you use on top.
So now that you have
And then
the brow
it helps
shape,
offsets the color that you're going to use in the middle. Most of the time, you use a highlighter at the top, or you can use concealer. Either one, it doesn't matter. We have the shape and the arch. You also want to kind of, and with everybody, there's one thick with whatever the client is wearing, and there's a thin, dark contouring powder that you put on the end. Coming into smoky eye gives a contouring look from the into the smoky concealer, the shadow, or highlighter, whichever you use on top. And then it helps offsets the color that you're going to use in the middle. And most of the time, you use a highlighter at the top, or you can use concealer. Either one, it doesn't matter. But you also want to kind of coordinate your shadow with whatever the client is wearing that day. You have to be mindful. Sometimes there's an adhesive, and all of them should disappear.
So it's not glue, it's
into the smoky. It's adhesive glue.
Okay. Once you apply the adhesive, how long does it take to dry?
About 2 or 3 minutes, depending on the client as well, because some clients tend to have watery eyes. Depends on the time of the day. And the adhesive glue actually responds to moisture. So if there's a lot of water in the eye corners, it's going to be very hard for the lash to just go on and sit there. You have to be mindful. If a person has dry eyes, not the eyeball, but all of them should, pretty good dryness around the eye, the lash would go right on with no problem. And as long as the client is able to sit still and, like Miss Chanel is doing so perfectly here, client as well, it allows that that lash to go right on and sit watery eyes. And you want her to sit like this for at least 2 to 3 minutes, responds to moisture, settle in. So if there's a lot of water in the eye corners, it's going to be very hard for the lash to just go on and sit there. If a person has dry eyes, not the eyeball, but pretty good dryness around the eye, the lash will go right on with no problem. Whole complete and as long as the client is able to sit still, and you may run into problems, like Miss Chanel is doing so perfectly here. A good 20 minutes. It allows that brow to go, that lash to go right on and makeover done. And you want her to sit like this for at least 2 to 3 minutes, smoothly, so that it can settle in.
Wait, I missed it. What happened? I have no idea. Right. So if someone is coming in and they needed a full makeover, needed you to apply makeup. So for 20 minutes, lashes have to sit 2 or 3 minutes. How long would it take? Makeover?
For the whole complete service?
Yeah. How much would that cost?
Whole complete service, depending on what all we're doing.
So that
because, like I said, sometimes you may run into problems. But normally,
lashes,
a good 20 minutes to get a good, nice makeover done. And we also sell no problems. Cosmetics everything that I use smoothly. So if the client would like to purchase the shadow, lashes for further use, the brush on brow is what it's called, a filler. A lot of people call it brow filler, but it's the correct term is brush on brow.
So for 20 minutes,
because that's exactly what you're doing.
Makeover.
You're brushing on the brow.
Now, as far as the adhesive, are there any so that would allergies or allergic?
Well, that's kind of hard to tell without having the client tell you that.
Okay.
And we also, if you don't get the feedback, you don't never know. Everything that I use, I just use the same type. I never had anybody to actually come back to say that they got irritated by the glue. Further use, but sometimes I have used the brush on brow is what is called the filler. A lot of people call it brow filler, but it's right away. Correct term is brush on. Then brow. That's when you find out, unfortunately, that's exactly what you're doing. Trial and error, brushing on. But for the most part, I haven't had any problems with return customers on that.
Allergies or allergic? $45. That is very inexpensive.
Well, that's kind of hard to tell without having the client tell you that.
Okay.
Well, we want to keep it at a rate that we can't have as many clients. Basically, we just use the same type. I never had anybody to actually come back to say that they got irritated by the glue. It can be hard, but sometimes I have used a darker glue to keep the client satisfied. Cause irritation right away. That's affordable. Okay. So then that's when you find out, unfortunately,
for our listening audience,
trial and error. But for the most part, I haven't had any problems with return customers on that.
How would they get in contact? $45.
We're located at 3743 Main Street, College Park, Georgia, 30337. Yep. My phone number is 678-789-6580. We want to keep it at a rate that we can have as many clients as possible. My email address is Dila Johnson 48 tedious job, but it can be easy sometimes. Sometimes it can be hard, but you know, to keep the client satisfied, you want to keep a rate that's affordable.
Okay. And for our listening audience who are interested in having you give them a quick makeover, how would they get in contact with you?
We're located at 3743 Main Street, College Park, Georgia, 30337. My phone number is 678-789-6580. My email address is deliajohnson48@yahoo.com.
Awesome.